I apologize to all you viewers out there who are looking for high-level gameplay. Many of my videos recently are of me making gigantic screw-ups in my gameplay and losing royally. This is because I'm trying out new decks, and as a result, I'm not very familiar with their ins and outs, and I always make very silly decisions. Yeah, but looking at my gameplay, you definitely wouldn't be able to tell that I have previously won playmats at previous tournaments. I mean, yes, they definitely don't reflect very well. But anyway, I'll still upload them here for your viewing pleasure, and probably more importantly, to give you some insight as to some of the cool decks out there that no one bothers to try. This is my Whizzard deck. I'm not sure if I've uploaded a video of this before, but basically it's about Demolition Run, having 3 copies of Media and Nerve Agent, and attacking the weaker of the 2 centrals, and forcing the Corp to ice them heavily or risk the repercussions, which is bleeding lots of cards and giving me lots of excesses. Medium and Nerve Agent are still some of the best ways to dig through the central servers of a Corp. The only reason why you don't see them play often is because Anarch is a very weak faction, and you much rather splash event-based or hardware R&D or HQ digging instead. So anyway, let's hop into the game. I've rambled on for way too long. Notice the weakness that is R&D. All there is guarding it is a single pop-up window, which I can easily pass through whenever I have a credit, or can parasite down and immediately start running through it. But I don't have a medium with me, so I cannot exploit that just yet. Right now, what he's threatening me with is a 2 advanced agenda. It's probably an agenda or a Grindel Refinery. So I'm hoping it's a Grindel Refinery so I can trash it. And it's an NAPD. I should have expected that. The reason I didn't suspect that was because if it was an NAPD, I would expect him to advance it once instead of twice. So the 2 advance really threw me off there. I had to check it because it could have been a restructured data pool. I know no one plays it anymore, but you can never be sure. So I definitely didn't want to give him a 3-pointer and a free trace tool to give me a tag. That would completely screw up my game. So I had to check it, and that cost me my Parasite, and I couldn't trash the NAPD at the end of the day. So that was a huge pity. Thankfully, I've gotten up some solid economy with Kati Jones running and daily casts to get even more money running. And I also have John Masanori to improve my click efficiency. I can run and gain a card at the same time, which is so huge. This benefits me a lot. Sensitivity Grid, no threat at all. He is only on 4 credits. And I need to continue drawing cards because I'm digging for that medium so that I can make 1 power turn to raid R&D. He doesn't seem too interested in icing up R&D, so this is my big chance to score by breaking through R&D. Okay, so he secures the Sensitivity Grid. There's nothing much I can do about that. I do not wish to run into a server because I have John Masanori up. It will be a huge hassle to clear tags. So instead I use the credit I have to run R&D while gaining a card. Many times people are too afraid to run through pop-up windows just to access a single card. But for me, because I have the click efficiency provided by Masanori, that's the way I'm going. So I continue to draw even more cards, and with my last click, there's nothing much else I want to do. So I run and trash the Jackson. Later on, he takes back the move because he forgot that I was Whizzard. And because I'm Whizzard, I can trash Jackson for free. So of course, he opts to use Jackson to reshuffle his cards instead. It's not always necessarily the best move to use Jackson to reshuffle every time it is threatened to be trashed. You can always force the Corp to trash it, force the runner to trash it, and then reinstall a new Jackson to recycle the old Jackson back to your deck. But because I'm Whizzard, I'm trashing his Jackson Howard without any penalty. Reshuffling is the best option, if only to recycle your event-based economy. Alright, so he does that same old trick. Send into breaking news, and with that tag he landed on me, he blew up my Kati Jones. That hurt. That hurt so bad. The only consolation I can think of is that it wouldn't have made a difference. Had I tapped Kati Jones the previous turn, my accounts would still have been closed. So, but actually I'd rather have my accounts closed because now I cannot use Kati Jones as a source of economy. She's trashed out. So now I'm dirt poor. I'm in a horrible position. Right now, the only thing I can do is to exploit the fact that he has 0 credits by running HQ. And I see Psychographics, so I know what kind of deck he runs. Midseasons deck. So of course I trash the Sansan because he always trash the Sansan. And anyway, he couldn't rest the ice above Sansan, so I definitely should have done it as soon as I could, and that I did. It probably was a mistake not running into the Sansan server, forcing him to rest the ice, and hopefully, even though that gains me attack, at least it will slow him down, preventing him from breaking news, scoring the breaking news. I'm getting flooded with lots of cards that I do not want. Multiple copies of Scavenge, not a fan of it. Multiple daily casts, now I wish I had it, and so on. Alright, he misplaced again. He thought that he had Astro Script Scorched, but he didn't, so he couldn't pump out an Astro Train. So instead, he does something else, involving installing a new remote. Alright, so I'm sitting here thinking, I just wasted 3 credits early on an ice cover that's now doing nothing. I installed it earlier on to get rid of the Draco on the remote, but now it's of no use. Alright, I draw into my second Parasite, and I have a medium. It's time to strike. But installing both cost 5 credits. It would have cost 2 if I had modded in hand, but I didn't see one today. So, unfortunately for me, now I can only click for credits and wait for next turn to make my power move if he doesn't ice out R&D. So I can only hope that he doesn't seal off my only road into his servers. And I was scared for a moment there he installed an ice, but turns out he wanted to create a new server, so I'm all in. Into R&D, and I access 1 card. Midseasons. That scared me. If I ran again and I saw an agenda, I would be tag flooded, and I do not want that. So instead, I took a credit and passed the turn over. That could have been a mistake. Always, the more virus tokens on medium, the better, and I let that go. But since he didn't do anything to ice out R&D at all, instead choosing to pump out agendas, I'm more than happy to run his servers. His R&D specifically. Dirty Laundry gets me back to 5 credits, such a good card. It allows me to use my demolition run, which I finally remember to use. So I trashed the hedge fund, trashed the NAPD contract, trashed the Jackson Howard. Oh, that felt so good. Oh man, I got rid of his economy, and I have a free to access agenda anytime I wish. And finally, I see 4 new cards. A Scorched Turf, a Melange which I trash, a Wraparound, and a Hedge Fund. I'm so thankful I didn't access any agendas this turn. Had I accessed any agendas, I would be tag flooded. He would have mid-seasons me, which would have followed into a Scorched Turf, although he doesn't have credits for that now. He could have a Hedge Fund in hand, and that would spell doom for me. So yeah, I got very lucky there. Although I really do want to start scoring agendas now, because he now pumps out an Astro Script and is threatening to win, because all he needs is 2 points and he can score that from hand. So I'm pretty much I pretty much need my 7-point turn now. And I told him I need to see 3 agendas in R&D. Once I see 3 agendas in R&D, I can fly towards Archives for the victory because the NAPD is there. My Masanori drew into a Dirty Laundry, which was very, very clutch. The Dirty Laundry puts me over the credit limit needed to score the NAPD from Archives. And since I accessed 2 agendas on my first shot, I got to see a lot more cards, including the last Astro Script, and I headed towards Archives for the win. So that was a very, very, very lucky run there. Had R&D been arranged any other way, I don't think I would have won. The very fact I was able to trash NAPD into Archives with Demolition Run to allow me to access it later at my own will, so I could avoid the mid-seasons, and then access 3 additional agendas from R&D. The chances of that happening was so low. Of course, you can say that he made a huge misplay. He should have taken the game slower by icing up his R&D instead. That would have really sealed me off, and I wouldn't have been able to win so easily. He could have left the Astro Script on the board for a longer time because he knew I was so afraid to face check unrezzed ice. But at the end of the day, misplaced on both sides. It just turned out that I I got the luckier end of it, and I ended up winning by scoring 7 agendas in one turn. On the other hand, I believe that my deck is pretty good against NBN because NBN tends to run very cheap ice. Cheap and low strength. You see his Draco, his Quandaries, and pop-up windows. These are very low strength, and with a Corroder out, his wraparounds would also be 0 strength. All of these are so vulnerable to Parasite. So NBN is a pretty good matchup for me. That being said, there are my weaknesses, especially to tech flooding, mid-seasons, which I don't have very good economy. Mid-seasons is always a problem. And Sensitivity Grid, yes, I need to act very fast, but at least with Whizzard's ability, he cannot install Sensen Naked. Otherwise, I would trash it for very cheap. So that's a game of me in action. As I said, lots and lots of misplays all around. This is definitely nowhere near a high-level game, and I apologize for that, but otherwise, I hope it was pretty interesting and gives a very nice insight as to how awesome Demolition Run is. It really is underplayed. Thanks for watching. Happy net running.